Good morning, friends. This is Ayer welcoming you from E-Mini Futures by Cell. Now, this video is part one of our video series on auto insurance, how to buy auto insurance in North America, and what are the fundamental issues or problems or scams going on in this area, particularly in North America and particularly in Ontario, Canada, which is the number one villain when it comes to frauds and scams in North America. I don't know how many of you knew that. Ontario province in Canada has the distinction of having the number one positions for committing maximum auto insurance related scams and frauds. And the legal profession here in this province has a lot to answer for that, as well as the politicians. Now, before we go into the fundamental, and this is a very peculiar problem in North America, which is a very litigious continent, I almost feel that in North America, everybody wakes up in the morning thinking who I can sue today. This seems to be the culture here. So that being said, so let's go into and how I can get rich, you see. So let's say the villain, I will explain to you the villain in the piece is a three-letter word and called TPL. This TPL is the root cause of all the illness or the sickness in this industry. And strangely, the insurance industry does not explain this problem properly. There are so many YouTube videos and none of them are addressing this in the correct way as to what the core issue is. So before I highlight that, which we'll go into more details in subsequent videos, let me broadly explain to you that when you negotiate an auto insurance premium, what goes into it? See, when there are two kinds of coverages, or I don't want to use any technical word, they call it as an endorsement, okay? So don't get confused. There are two types of insurance protection you have. One which are related to you. There are two ways of looking at it. One which are related to you, the individual. Second is those which are related to the vehicle that you are driving. Okay, this is one way of looking at it. You can also look at the subject in another way, that is, those which are mandatory, required by law, and number two, those which are optional. Okay, this is another way of looking at it. So let me just tell you, I'll take the first approach. What are the coverages typically which are claims, the protection for which you are actually paying that are related to you, the individual, and they are two. One is the TPL, the villain, I told you, the third party liability. And second is what is called SAB, statutory accident benefits. This is all done by the politicians, and SAB is not a big issue. I mean, it is a big issue, but it's not a big problem. Okay, those which are now, let's, these are the two primarily related to you, the individual, personally. Now let's move into the other category, what are related to vehicle. Okay, so there are certain things you should know. One is called which is mandatory. Then there is a second thing called DCPD. DCPD is very popular in Ontario. I will explain more later on. But DCPD may not be there in United States, or maybe there in different forms. There may be some genetic mutation, and they may be giving different names to it. And then what you guys will be familiar. By the way, both and DCPD are mandatory. Now comes related to vehicle but optional, and you probably would have heard these expression collision, comprehensive, rental, all perils. Now surprisingly, collision, comprehensive, rental, all perils, they are all optional. They are not mandatory. So let's say if you're driving a used car and the value of the used car is very low, don't waste your time and money going for collision insurance. Okay, you may as well take the risk. Okay, so and by the way, there are um, other issues related to this subject, but we'll go into more detail in the later on videos. But I want to, before I give you the rules and regulation and how to structure your insurance premium, where are the deductibles higher, Typically, comprehensive is cheaper than collision and also has a lower deductible and so on. I want to address this problem of TPL. Why is it a villain? You see, in some parts of United States, some states, as well as in some provinces in Canada, the this villain problem is not there. What I mean by that is that when you are involved in a car accident, you can only go for claim to your own insurance company. You cannot sue the other driver who is involved, driver or drivers involved, or you cannot sue the other insurance company. This is a very good thing. If you're the state you are living in or the province you are living in Canada, unfortunately Ontario does not fall in that category, but I think Quebec, Manitoba, and other places are there. In that case, there is no issue. The scam or the fraud arises in those states in United States and in those provinces in Canada like Ontario, where the law, and this is where the politicians are the root cause of this evil. The law allows the driver who is involved in an accident to sue the other guy as well as the insurance company. And this is where people misunderstand the concept of insurance. They think, okay, I have taken insurance, I am protected. Not at all. In fact, if you are involved in an accident and if the other guy can prove that you are at fault, he can actually not only take money from his own insurance company, he can sue you and take money from your insurance company. On top of that, and that's the gravy, he can personally sue you and drive you to bankruptcy. He can drive, yeah, this is legally allowed and encouraged by the legislature, by the lawmakers or the politicians in North America. And this is what I call the scam, mother of all scams going on. And how they do it, there are lawyers and some physicians who are involved in this game. This is done through a complex personal injury game, rigmarole. And you see, medical science, not everything is black and white. There are many areas in medical science which is gray. So they take these gray areas and they twist it, manipulate it, and there are people who are trying to get rich by by filing 4, 5, 6, $7 million claims and all. And many of these claims are awarded in millions of dollars, these personal injury claims. That's what is driving up the cost of insurance. Why is auto insurance premium going up all over North America? This is the fundamental root of it. And that's when the personal injury claims on the medical grounds, which are coming from the TPL pipeline. Now, don't misunderstand me. There are some genuine cases and genuine personal injury claims related to it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the team of lawyers and physicians who are misusing this and and the drivers to become rich and to become millionaires. And it's quite, there is something called as a staged collision, and this happens actually. So all these things are going on, and the politician, it is very easy to fix it. It's a man-made problem. It's a man-made problem. It can be solved in few seconds. All these political jokers have to get their job done. They have to change the law that you cannot sue the other driver. You cannot sue your claim has to stay only with your own. If they do it, 99% the auto insurance premium will drop down dramatically in North America. This is the root of the issue, friends, and I have explained to you in very simple and lucid language. I know it's a controversial subject, but in YouTube, the insurance industry will not explain to you the way I've explained to you. I'll go more into detail and how you can protect yourself, and you can actually protect yourself from this scam by paying a very small premium. And this is, again, most people don't know about all this. Okay, so we'll go into more details and further, and I'll educate you more and more about when you should take collision insurance and when you should not. By the way, there is the first time you take an insurance, there is something called forgiveness endorsement. That means your own insurance company will forgive your first at fault accident. So always go for this coverage. Okay. Very, very important. Don't and go for more premium. In fact, many people say that if I reduce my car premium insure, then I've done a smart thing. No, dumb answer. In fact, most of the time, the more expensive the auto insurance premium, the better. The cheaper the premium, you are acting dumb. You'll be surprised. And I will explain to you why. Okay? Now watch out for my next video.